Am I the a-hole for kicking out my roommate after she used my money to pay her rent and bills? Plus update. Earlier this year, I decided to move into a 3-bedroom apartment. I let a friend of a friend move in with a quick background check and job history, and she seemed like a great person at first. We have lived together for 5 months now, and she doesn't clean after herself and constantly eats our food. She hasn't cleaned since she moved in. It has helped with groceries maybe 6 times. She also uses my products and clothes. Well, I happened to check my account online and saw all the money except $4 was left. I called the bank and told them there was a mistake. They said they will do an investigation, and once they find everything blah blah blah, they will have it in my account. But it will take 10 days from the starting date, and we don't know what that'll be. Well, that money was for bills and groceries. I have a 9-year-old child, and I cannot feed my child. So when my roommate got home, she had shopping bags. I told her what happened today, and told her the police are also in on it since it was over $1,000, and I couldn't let that slide. She gets antsy, and before long is asking how long before they know who it is, and I said not long. Not an hour goes by, and she comes in crying with my card in hand, and says how terribly sorry she is, but she needed things, and I had the money before she did and how she was going to pay me back. I told her I was reporting and was evicting her, and to expect a notice to come. She called me a cruel and heartless witch. But she stole from me and my child to where we don't have any groceries left. She loves to eat our food and not replace them. Was I too harsh kicking her out? Now for the top comments before the little update. Not day haul, and I feel like you know that already. Lol. Her not having money isn't your problem. She stole over $1,000 from you. Isn't that considered credit card theft? I'd press charges honestly. It's not okay at all. I already know she can't see her doctor and is off her meds, and this may be a symptom of everything going bad for her. I do feel for her as she was always nice, but messy. I get it. I was like that once, but my kid changed me. Yes, but she's absolutely not your problem. Your child is your first priority. I wonder what else she stole. Not day haul. She stole from you and left you unable to provide for your child. There's no way you could be the a-hole in this situation. That being said, make sure you evict her the right way. I don't know your release situation or the local laws, but for your own sake, make sure it is all above board, just to avoid an unnecessary headache. I'm going Monday to take care of it. I have to call my landlord and have him draw it up as he said I was responsible. I don't know if he will draw up the eviction without the money in hand though. We are sitting ducks right now. Not stay home. She's been taking your things and effectively stole your money that you had for reasons. You're well within your rights to feel completely angry about that. If she was struggling to pay her way, the least she could have done was talk to you about her situation instead of take without asking. I do see your point. I had to read it twice to be able to process it as what it is. If she needed it, she knew to come to me first, but she didn't. I still gonna feel bad and cry like a baby when it comes to time to get paperwork. Edit/update. One of you suggested to look for other valuable things missing. And I'll be damned. My late grandmother's ring is gone. Now I'm calling the police. I mean, I already was before this, but the one ring she knows not to touch is gone. That ring is worth over $20,000 alone. I don't know if she knows, but I never told her the value of it. This infuriates me. First you eat my food, take my clothes and my money, and then you take something worth more to me than money? Is she stupid? She knew that is a definite rule breaker and no going back. I'm calling them now. I'm stressing so bad. Next story is titled, Am I the a-hole for kicking my cousin out in the middle of the night after she said I chose to be poor? My life has been up and down in terms of finances. I went from rags to rags again pretty much. I have a cousin Alice who I'm very close to. She lost her job and ended up losing her home too. Things have been rough for her, so I agreed to let her stay with me temporarily while she gets back on her feet. A few days ago, Alice was venting to me about how hard her life is and how she just wanted to fast forward to when things were better. I told her I agreed, and she said, well, you're poor by choice, so it's not the same. I asked her what she meant, and she said, Luke would give you money if you ask him, so you're choosing to be poor. Luke is my husband, well, soon to be ex, hopefully. Alice knows all about my history with him and knows why I wouldn't accept money from him. I left him when I found out I was pregnant because he didn't want me to keep our baby. This was the final straw for me, and I've pretty much hidden from him since. Alice knows it was the hardest thing I had ever done, and she knows I never want to be dependent on him again, and I would choose being poor over asking him for money. I got upset with her and I told her that wasn't me choosing to be poor, and that asking him for money wasn't an option for me. She kept arguing with me and doubling down, and eventually I lost my temper and asked her to leave. She thought I was joking at first, but when I told her I was serious, she got pissed at me for kicking her out in the middle of the night when she had nowhere else to go. She ended up asking her parents to come get her. But before she left, she made a snide comment about how she wondered how much money Luke would pay to find out where I lived. Am I the a-hole? Not the a-hole. Your cousin was being an incredibly rude guest to begin with. The threat to expose your location to your ex should destroy your relationship with her beyond repair. Truly abysmal behavior. Her sense of entitlement is laughably tone deaf. Not the a-hole, OP. But please have protection in place for yourself against your cousin and your ex. Not the a-hole by a mile. The absolute nerve of some people. You take her in out of the kindness of your heart, and she repays you by being rude. And then she has the nerve to threaten to out your location to your ex for money? OP, I suggest you stay with a friend temporarily and put a doorbell cam on your apartment, because I can see two things happening. 1, your cousin does tell your ex your address, and he shows up to try and do God knows what. 2, your cousin tries to come back because you kicked her out and she wants some kind of payback. Tell her parents and the rest of your family what happened, and if your ex finds you and something happens, it's on your cousin's hands. Cut her off and let her be someone else's problem, because her parents probably won't want to deal with her for long with her horrible attitude. But before she left, she made a snide comment about how she wondered how much money Luke would pay to find out where I lived. WTF? What kind of a-hole threatens something like this? This just shows you did the right move in my opinion. Next story. Am I the a-hole for telling my ex that my life will be easier when she and her kids move out? My ex and I got together over 3 years ago, moved into my house after a year. She has 2 children from a previous relationship. We also have a child together who is now almost a year old. We mutually decided to break up a few weeks ago. I have my reasons and she has hers, but ultimately her kids play a big role in the breakup. Not their fault. It's more about our different parenting styles. Due to my ex's trauma from when she was a child, and the kids' by father emotionally mistreated all 3 of them, she had a protective bubble around them that was a massive source of conflict. I could write a list, but I don't see how it would be beneficial to this. Anyways, we broke up because we didn't want to resent each other for our child's sake, like the way she resents her other kid's father. They have been staying here until she finds a new place. However, she keeps making remarks about how I'm going to struggle on my own, especially when I have my daughter half the time. I've left it be because I'm pretty sure she's projecting, and she will no doubt struggle, but it is also the damn time. I was having a particularly bad day at work and she knows, and she brought up how I'm going to cope with work and our daughter. My life would be easier when they move out. Yes, I will be having my daughter 3 nights/4 days a week. I changed my work pattern, so when I do have her, I don't have to work, so I have no issues there. Looking after my daughter will be a breeze. I have no issues now looking after her. In fact, I make sure I have her more than her mother because I love spending time with her. It will be even easier when her and her kids move out for so many reasons. The biggest is that all 3 cannot help themselves and always have to disturb my daughter when she's trying to sleep. So she then doesn't sleep and gets cranky and whines until I take her to my mother so I can put her to sleep in peace. All 3 are extremely messy. My entire house is a minefield and it stresses me out to no end, and none of them clean up after themselves. I also find myself doing more for her kids than she does. I always take them to school and pick them up, take them to their after-school activities, make sure they're fed and shower often, as otherwise she wouldn't remember. I also pay for everything related to the house and we only split shopping and petrol. So I told her that when they move out, I'll have more money to save because I will be spending less on bills, and this is after me paying more than I should in child support. My house will be back to being clean and tidy and will reduce my constant stress. Looking after my daughter will be less stressful because I will be able to put patterns in place to help. I will have more free time because I'm not spending it cleaning up all their mess, running around all day for her kids when it is her job. My life will finally be back in my hands. She didn't take it too well. It has been quiet ever since. Not the a-hole. Her silence is exactly what she needed. She knows you were right. I think mostly she meant that I'll miss her and the kids and how hard it will be, but his response was stone cold. Doesn't sound like he formed an attachment at all. 4 nights a week is primary custody. You should not be paying child support at all. Please get a formal custody agreement from the court. She should be paying you. And for the love of God, mention that you've done all the childcare. And provide any and all evidence of her negligence. Photos of your house. Days you had to shower them because she wouldn't, etc. It's 3 nights and 4 days. I checked the child maintenance calculator. It offered to pay double to what it says. I earn much more than she does, but I'm only doing it for my child's benefit when she lives with her mother. Of course, this will change if I feel my daughter isn't having the care that she deserves while being over there for one reason or another. Here's a wild idea. Maybe he cares about the other kids too. Disagreeing with her mom's parenting doesn't mean he doesn't care about the kids' well-being at all. Bingo, one of the reasons for the breakup. I believe they need to start doing more things for themselves, whereas she thinks she would keep doing it. And by we, I mean me. Next story is titled, Am I the a-hole for not giving my brother $15,000? I'm 29 male and my brother 28 male grew up extremely close. We did everything together. But when he turned 18, he got arrested and sent to prison for 5 years. I would visit him while he was in prison, but he wanted no relationship with me. Even when he was released, he would not reach out, so I gave up on working on a relationship with him. I'm now married, have a daughter on the way, and work in the government. My brother lives with my parents, does not have a job, and spends most of his days drinking. Then a few months ago, he texted me asking if we could meet at a local restaurant. We met and he asked if I could give him $2,000 to help him get back on his feet. The only thing I asked was that if I gave the money, could we build on being brothers again? He agreed, and I wrote him a check. Now he calls me and tells me that he needs more money. My parents kicked him out of the house and that he needs a place to live. I asked him what he used the money I gave him on, and he told me that he used it on alcohol and clubs. He asks if I could give him $15,000 and help him find a place. I told him no, that it was a lot of money to ask for. I offered to help him find a place that he can afford if he wants. He hangs up on me and sends me a long text that I have always been the favorite son, and he never wants to talk or hear from me. I did try to reach out, but he blocked my number. Am I the a-hole for not giving my brother $15,000? Now for the top comments. Not the a-hole. If he can't be trusted with $2,000, there's no way on earth I'm giving him $15,000. To add on, sometimes there's a favorite sibling for a reason. One's a convict and the other is an upstanding citizen. Doesn't mean I think that the felon shouldn't get some support, but you can't help someone who refuses to help themselves. At some point though, you have to stop supporting them. The main reason only one of my 5 brothers is dead of an overdose is due to my mom and dad cutting them off. It forced them to get a stable job at a residence. I know it hurts, but he didn't want a brother. He wanted a free bank. You did the correct thing of offering to help him find a place to live instead of forking over cash again. As soon as he realized the bank was closed, he cut you out. Move on with your life. Hopefully your brother gets his act straight one day. Not the a-hole. Obviously you didn't do everything together. Or did you and it took the rap? If so, then you're the a-hole. If you are doing well financially, $2,000 won't make or break you. But $15,000 is a whole other level of money. Especially when he simply drank and blew the $2,000 away. You have a kid on the way? This is all for the best that should never be exposed to her drunk uncle. For the arrest? No. He and a few friends got in major trouble. I was hoping for my daughter to know her uncle, but that might not be possible. Now for the last story. Am I the a-hole for asking my sister and brother-in-law to pay to clean the urine in my truck? I, 24 male, have a truck, and therefore I'm everyone's first contact if they need to move anything. I typically have reasons to get out of it, but this time my sister, 27 female, needed help moving. She and her husband have my nephew, too, and are expecting twins next month, so bought a house about an hour away from their apartment, and they're trying to get settled before the babies are born. I had plans, but pushed them back so I could help them make 2 trips to the new house. My sister was packing things at the apartment and came with us on the second trip to the house. About 20 minutes away from the new house, my sister said we needed to pull over so she could use the bathroom. I let her know how close we were so she could hold it for a little longer. Her husband demanded I pull it to the nearest gas station, but we were about to pass it anyway, so again I said she should hold it for a bit. Well, she released a full bladder of urine all over the back of my truck. She couldn't get it all cleaned out when we got to the house, so I told her I'd want them to cover the rest of the cleanup. My brother lost it on me, and said they wouldn't pay for anything since I wouldn't pull over. My sister's a grown woman that I've known my whole life. She can hold it for 15 minutes. Now I have a truck full of piss and half of my family isn't talking to me. Am I the a-hole for expecting an adult to be responsible for their own pee? You're the a-hole. Any grown adult knows that pregnant women, especially 8 months pregnant with twins, absolutely need to use the bathroom when they said they need to. Wow, I'm absolutely shocked at your idiocy and disregard for your sister. And for the record, I'm usually really understanding all these AITA posts, but you have actually gotten me worked up over here. Kudos. Yeah, reading the bit about how he knows his sister, she can hold it for 15 minutes, got me riled. Maybe usually, but not with 2 babies playing football with her bladder. You're the a-hole, OB. What an inexcusable, immoral action to take. To force a pregnant woman to embarrass herself and feel completely uncomfortable for no reason, after she already communicated the urge to drain the main vein. Then to have the freaking audacity to demand she pay to cover what you cost is a new type of cruelty yet to be discovered. I'm sorry for the language. I am furious right now, as a father of twins. You're the a-hole in every sense of the phrase, OB. I can't say it enough. You're the a-hole. You were asked multiple times to pull over so she could use the bathroom, and you refused. You don't know her body better than she does, and you clearly don't know how being pregnant, especially with twins, affects the body of a woman. I'd suggest you take this time to do some research, humble yourself, and apologize for humiliating your sister. Would it have killed you to pull over? Pregnancy can cause frequent, urgent restroom trips. Your sister has 2 almost ready babies pressing on her bladder. Sounds like she couldn't hold it. She's probably humiliated and upset. I doubt she wanted to peel over herself at your vehicle. Edit. I just called and apologized. I'm paying for it. I sent her the link to the post so she could enjoy my downfall. She's happier now.